I made a video kind of breaking the news about the Brad Marchand deal. And I wasn't going to make another video. I wasn't planning on making this one. But somebody commented on that video saying that they didn't think he is worth that much. It's too much money for him. Now, I'm not coming at you sideways. I'm not dissing you at all. I just thought two reasons why I'm making this video. One, I can get my thoughts out more clearly. And two, I think it's better than just writing you in a comment box, writing a huge paragraph, because then other people can see it. Hopefully this video can get shared a bit more. And if anybody thinks the same way, I can direct them to this video. So that's why I'm making a video, basically giving my reasons why I think 100% he is worth that money. Now, let's go over the stats. Before I do though, I'm going to just talk about a little bit about him as a player. On the Boston Bruins, he is absolutely irreplaceable. On any team for that matter. If he is on any team, he is irreplaceable. The contributions he makes to the team as an all-round two-way player is phenomenal. Let me start off by going down the list, because I have a list and I'm going to go through them. He's an elite PK guy. You put him on any team, NHL, international, he's going right, you're slotting him in, first line penalty kill. He's an elite penalty killer. He'll block shots, he's good at getting his stick in lanes, he's good at blocking passes, he pressures the right guys at the right time, he knows when to let off and go into a passive PK, he knows when to pressure. Rotations, he's really good at rotations as well. Now, a lot of credit goes to Claude Julien and the Boston team. As a team, they're good penalty killers. You got Chara, you got Bergeron, Krejci, etc. But him especially, his rotation is wonderful. He'll come down if Chara chases the guy up to the blue line. He'll slot in perfectly. He's just an all-round excellent penalty killer. On top of the defensive ability, you can see you can see right here, short-handed goals. He can score, and he does score on the PK. 5, 1, 2 in the lockout season, possible 4. 5, 2, and 4. He's great on the penalty kill. He's even a two-way player on the penalty kill. He can play defense, rotations, block shots, get the stick in passing lanes, pressure, score goals, go on breakaways. He's crazy. He is an amazing penalty killer. I mean, obviously, when he's not in the penalty box, he does take his fair share of penalties, but that being said, a lot of those are offsetting minors, but that's neither here nor there. Secondly, he came off a 37-goal season. Now, I know technically it wasn't a contract year for him. He's locked down next year. But he came off a 37-goal season. What is the most impressive about this is the fact that he wasn't even on the first line power play. Take a guy like Alexander Ovechkin, for example. 50 goals. He's spending 2 minutes on power plays, right? At least 40 seconds, minimum 40 seconds, minimum 1 to 2 shot attempts per power play if they're controlling the puck. He's on for 2 minutes sometimes. He plays the point the whole time. Plus, the offense is revolved around him. The team is built around him. Not to mention, Washington is just naturally an offensive team. You add on the fact he's got a Nicholas Backstrom. And I'm not taking shots at Ovi. He's one of my favorite players. He's the player that got me into hockey. So I'm not taking a shot at him. I'm just saying, Brad Marchand not being on the first power play, playing with Patrice Bergeron, not known for his playmaking ability, and he scored near 40 goals Holy fuck, is that ever impressive. That is crazy. He's been consistent through his career too. 21 goals. That was only his first season playing a lot of games. It goes up to 28. The lockout season, 25, 24, and then obviously his breakout goal scoring year, 37. Points, 41, 50, 50, 42, and then 60. He's extremely consistent. You even look at that 2011 right here. 55% on the face-off when he was playing center ice. Yes, he is a natural winger, but he can play center ice. He can control the center of the ice. And let me tell you, watching those games, he controlled the ice like an Anze Kopitar. He really did. Obviously, he's not as good as Kopitar, but I'm just saying, the way he controlled it, the breakout passes, the two-way game was very much like a poor man's Kopitar. I don't want to say a poor man because it sounds like I'm insulting him. I'm saying that, admiring him, saying that's awesome for him to do that. Now, he said, the guy that commented, said that Brendan Gallagher is getting only like 3.5 million for a 49 point season. No, you can't compare one player to another based off a 50 point to a other 50 point season. Brad Marchand is a better scorer than Gallagher, not even just including this season, overall through his career. He can snipe it much better than Gallagher. He's a way better finisher than Gallagher. He's a better penalty killer than Gallagher. He leads his team better than Gallagher. Brad Marchand is a first-line player. Gallagher definitely is not. Brad Marchand also, you can even look at the little small details that would add to his case. Come shootout time during the regular season, he's a really good shootout guy. You can put him in there first or second and rely on him to get a goal. He's a great agitator, and a lot of people don't get it. He's not a shitty fourth line grinder agitator like a Sean Avery, like a Matt Cook. He's not one of those. He's a smart, intelligent agitator. I mean, yeah, go to that Vancouver series. I actually looked up some of the highlights of that Vancouver series. If you only looked at some of those clips, you might think he's a goon. Like that hip check on Salo, the hip check on Daniel Sedin, punching Daniel in the face. That's part of his game, though. And another thing to add to the goal scoring, he led his team in penalty minutes while leading his team in goals and points. That's incredible. How do you do that? You're in the penalty box more than any guy on your team, more than the Zdeno Chara, and you're getting more points than a Bergeron, than a Krejci. Crazy. His all-round game is great. He's an amazing two-way player. And not to mention, now that he's 28 years old, I think he is, now he's an experienced guy. He has veteran experience. He won the Stanley Cup in his rookie year. From the get-go, he was put onto a winning environment, and he grew with the winning environment. So he's going to carry that throughout the rest of his career. You've got a guy like David Pastrnak coming up in the system for the Boston Bruins. Marchand is a great guy to put alongside him. A great guy. A two-way guy who can teach him the defensive aspects. A guy that will also stick up for his team. That's another little thing that would add into the negotiation. The fact that he isn't afraid to stick up for himself, but also his teammates. And perhaps the biggest, now not talking Aside from the fact of talking about him as a player, talking about contract negotiation. He's 1 year away from being a free agent. He's not a restricted one anymore. And the whole ordeal with the World Cup of Hockey, him and Sidney Crosby, the media went crazy talking about the chemistry between the two of them. They had both of them in post-game interviews together. Social media was going crazy talking about Brad Marchand's going to go to Pittsburgh in free agency next year to play with Crosby. And honestly, that gave him the upper hand, and that is why the deal got done so quickly and so effectively and with that much money. He had the upper hand in negotiation. He really did. Who are you going to replace him with? I mean, seriously, you put him on any team, he's immediately a valuable asset. Any team can use a Brad Marchand. Not every team can use an Alexander Ovechkin. Not every team can use a Henrik Sedin. Any team can use a Brad Marchand and fit into their lineup nicely. If you don't think he's worth $6 million, I think you are highly underestimating him. A first-line player, a great two-way, penalty killer. He scores short-handed goals. His hockey IQ is amazing. The fact that a defensive Boston Bruins team, he managed to get near 40 goals on a defensive team while not even playing on the first power play, while taking 90 penalty minutes, is absurd. He was a monster last year. The fact that he's grew into an intelligent agitator now. The fact that these little things, like a shootout, he's valuable in. He'll stick up for his team. You put him on any team, it's a valuable asset. So I don't think there's any doubt in my mind he's worth that money. Again, I watch every Boston Bruins game, just not even looking at the stats. What he brings to the ice, the passion, every game he brings his all. It's crazy watching him play. It's fun watching him play. He's an incredible hockey player. I am happy for him that he got the money. I'm happy for Boston that they get to keep him around. They lost Lucic. Lucic and Marchand and Bergeron and Krejci and Chara were the identity of Boston. The fact that they lost the fact they lost Lucic, they can't lose any more of the core of the team. They had to get it done. Marchand had the upper hand in contract negotiations, but not even talking about upper hand in negotiations. By a player, I definitely think he is worth $6 million a year.